Welcome to Dodgers Dogs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, Casey Porter here. It's been a minute. It's been away from Dodgers baseball, something that is not very much fun for me. But hey, I am back and I'm going to do my best analyzing last night's game with the Padres and talking a little bit about Dodgers baseball. I've been able to keep up with the Dodgers from somewhat of a distance, so I know the trends. I know all those kinds of things. The nitty-gritties coming into yesterday, probably not as much, but we are going to get into a lot of the nitty-gritty from last night's game, the excitement of beating the Padres on the road, and what felt like just a massive, massive game. The Dodgers, of course, there was a swing there, that one-game lead. You could have ended the night with the Dodgers tied with the Padres, with still games left to play in San Diego, and a lot of games left to play against them coming up. I think it's like 7 total, something like that. Instead, you walk out of last night with a 2-game lead and a couple-game buffer there, which is really, really nice, especially coming up with the bullpen game tonight. And then Robo, my boy Justin Robleski, who had, one of those outings that the up-down guys tend to have every now and then in his last time out. So he's been kind of up and down. Hopefully you get the up outing from him on Wednesday. Another good bullpen game, which sets up well because, hey, with the 5 innings last night that the Dodgers threw out of the bullpen, talking about the 2 from Anthony Bondo, who, by the way, has been a lot better lately, staying away from that long ball and staying away from the base on balls. That's what Anthony Bondo has to do. That Alex Vessia, who slammed the door after Freddie Freeman struck out in the bottom, in the top of the 8th inning. There was a lot of momentum. There was a lot of energy in Petco Park last night. It was a great atmosphere. So for Alex Vessia to come out and get that first hitter, Gavin Sheets, and just make it look really easy there in the bottom of the 8th inning, that was a huge turning point for me. So great job, Anthony Bondo. Great job, Alex Vessia. Both have been pitching very well lately. Good to see Tanner Scott pitching well last night in a huge bottom of the 9th inning. You don't get to the extra innings if you don't have the performance from Tanner Scott, from Kirby Yates, I should say. And then Tanner Scott came in, did give up the run on the placed runner, but no big deal. The Manny Machado strikeout, I'm going to say this point blank, that was a borderline pitch. If there was ABS or a challenge system, whatever you have, I'm not exactly sure which way that would go. I think it probably would still stay with strike, but I say that only to say that was such a borderline pitch. That was such a huge moment of the game. I'm not a Manny Machado fan. In fact, I don't like him at all. I didn't like him when he was with the Dodgers. I didn't like him before he was with the Dodgers. I don't like him now. I will say that very transparently, outwardly and open. Having said that, I have 0 issues with the way Manny Machado handled that situation. In those situations, the emotions get you. You feel like you're getting something taken away from you, which maybe he did, maybe he didn't. And then the emotions spill over. I have 0 problems with Manny Machado's emotions spilling over in that moment. Mike Schild, I thought, did a great job. But then Tanner Scott, although he did give up the double there to Jackson Merrill, who is a great player, by the way, did a great job again getting Gavin Sheets, and then with Petco Park going absolutely wild, getting the last out there. So great job, Tanner Scott. 3 lefties there, and then also Kirby Yates, the old veteran. Dustin May, it was the Dustin May experience, and I'll just say this point blank. I mean, Dustin May is that guy that he's right now, the execution just simply is not very good. So let's actually cut over to the board and let's get to him. Here's the problem with Dustin May. So see that sweeper pitch? I'm going to back that up. Here's the sweeper there. See how far out of the zone that is? Let me actually back that up again. Look how far out of the zone that is. There is no way. Fernando Tatis Jr. likes to swing the bat, but out of the hand, watch out of the hand, Tatis Jr., no way. I mean, he's just not going to swing at that pitch. And then the fastball in on the hand. So here's the problem. That's actually a pretty good fastball, although it's kind of high in the zone. But let me show you why this is actually not a terrible pitch right there. See where this pitch tunnels? But that's actually on the off the plate outside. That is not a strike at this point, and that comes all the way across the plate. And by the time Tatis hits it, You can see, let me back that up. By the time he hits it, it's actually on the inner half. I'm doing a very bad job of that. See how it's on the inner half? So it actually slid all the way across the plate. So why was Tatis able to ambush that? Well, first of all, Fernando Tatis Jr. is just a great player, although he hasn't been hitting well as of late. Neither has Luis Arraez. But the reason why he was able to ambush that pitch is because, as we back that up, if you're Fernando Tatis Jr., you eliminate all left turns. You're looking for the right turn. So as you can see, watch him open up to this pitch. See how he opens up? Look at that open up right there and turn on that pitch because he's eliminated all left turns. He's sitting on the right turn. And because of that, Fernando Tatis Jr. is able to get a pitch. So to get a hit. So I say that to say, here's Luis Arraez, his at bat. Look here, more of the same from Dustin May. The pitches out of the zone, there's a sinker, are not competitive. I mean, those just are not competitive pitches. You're not going to get swing and miss. And then you have the double whammy where the only pitches that are in the zone are pitches that either, like Tatis Jr. Did, are pitches that they're sitting on because they've eliminated the sweeper that's turning left, and or they are pitches that, like on our Luis Arraez hit that you're going to see here in just a second, I think right here in this next pitch, they're just simply flat. So it's either pitches they're ambushing because they're sitting on them because they've eliminated a left turn, or they're flat. So the pitches in the zone early for Dustin May, the first 3 innings, it just was uncompetitive balls and then very flat strikes, and that were strikes that were getting ambushed for reasons that were caused by Dustin May, in my opinion. So let's actually get to, here's kind of what I'm talking about. Here's a good sequence. This is a good little just kind of sinker in on the zone, got in on the hands enough of Gavin Sheets here. So that sets up that sweeper there. See how he was able to actually set up swing and miss by throwing that good sinker, and then here is another sweeper that lands in the zone. So you see, actually, let me back that up and turn that back over. I did not have that on. So here you go. Good sinker inside to Gavin Sheets. That's going to set up the sweeper right here. You see, that creates that swing and miss because it's at the same tunnel point. Let me back that up and show you this sweeper here, or excuse me, this sinker. See how where this tunnel point right here is on that sinker? Okay, so let me actually put this on a quarter of a time because I enjoy doing this kind of stuff, and that'll give you a good look as to why he actually got swing and miss on the sweeper. So he gets strike one on the sinker, then he tunnels that sweeper on the next pitch to Gavin Sheets, if I can get to it, off that same tunnel point that he threw that sinker off of. Let me get it stopped here so you can see it. So watch, there's the tunnel point right there. See it? Exact same tunnel point. So right now, I mentioned a minute ago, out of hand the hitters, they were laying off of pitches. Right now, Gavin Sheets is having to really bear down on this pitch, figure out what it's going to do because it is coming out of the exact same tunnel as that sinker that took a right turn last time. And so because of that, he has to assume this is going to be that same sinker. It's going to hop back over the plate, but instead of taking that right turn, it takes the left turn. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, how Dustin May, whenever he's executing, is able to get swing and miss. But I'll say right now, I think it's more about figuring out a way like he did to Luis Arraez to actually get his pitches inside the zone. Let me get this back. I know you're not seeing it right now, but let me get this actually back to full-time speed. Getting his pitches back in the zone and creating some soft contact to make things easier for him. So for Dustin May, a good a really rough first 3 innings where his balls were not competitive out of his hand, and then his balls in the zone were either ambushed because the hitter had set him up, or they were flat. But I'll say it was a great way to finish. Let's get back to his finish here. See, there's that same sinker that hops back over the plate, and then there's that high sinker up in the zone. Good sequence there, and then in the zone there. In the zone. Dustin May needs to start beating hitters in the zone. So the good thing about the way that he finished last night, if I can actually get to my notes on him, the great thing about the way he finished, so in his last 22 pitches, he threw 14 strikes, and he retired 6 out of his last 7 hitters. So first 3 innings, not good for Dustin May. There were a couple of hitters like we saw with Gavin Sheets where he did execute, and when he executed, he got outs. Last couple of innings were very good. So in a weird way where you gave up 6 runs in 5 innings to your arch rival, which is not good, in a weird way, Dustin May, in my opinion, created some momentum with the way he threw 14 strikes in his last 22 pitches, the way that he landed multiple pitches in the zone the last couple of innings. And so from that perspective, a total mixed bag for Dustin May and his start last night. So that's kind of how I evaluate the way that last night went for him. So Shohei Otani, let's get to the way he started the game off last night. Awesome at bat to start the game last night for Shohei Otani. He saw 6 pitches. This was unbelievable from Nick Pivetta. So to start the game for Shohei Otani, he threw 6 fastballs in a row to Shohei Otani. Then out of the 5 pitches he threw Freddie Freeman, 4 of them were curveballs. So there was no diversity whatsoever that he threw to Shohei Otani with 6 fastballs. Very little diversity of Freddie Freeman. 4 out of 5 were curveballs that you see here. The one fastball was way inside. It was a show-me pitch. And what I wanted to note about this, Freddie Freeman, we always talk about how he hits it to the left center field gap, the opposite field gap. He's such a pro. Actually, when you have the opposite hand, when I say opposite hand, Freddie Freeman's left-handed, and the pitcher, Nick Pivetta, here actually is right-handed. So whenever you throw a breaking ball, it's going to break in towards you. So when that breaking ball breaks in towards you, to actually go with the pitch means that you actually pull it. So Freddie Freeman, what you're going to see from him, you're going to see him pull a lot of pitches, pull the breaking pitches that are breaking in on him, and you're going to see him shoot the fastballs a lot of times to the opposite field that are out over the plate. And then Will Smith, how incredible is Will Smith? No doubt about that. You would have to prove to me that he is 100% not the best catcher in the game. Somebody would have to prove me otherwise, because he's second batting average on the team at 320. This was all from Joe Davis last night. Behind Freddie Freeman, he leads the National League in on-base percentage at 926. He has sac flies that he hits like he did last night. But beyond that, underneath the hood, Will Smith, 875 with runners at third base, 421 with runners in scoring position, 347 when he's up in the count. He had a 3-1 pitch last night. So all things last night and that at bat definitely led to Will Smith doing good things for the Dodgers. The Dodgers got off to the really, really quick start, which was great to see. And it was great to see, hey, the slugging is great, but the couple of base hits in front of that, the winning baseball plays, no doubt about that, played a huge factor in that, especially not just in that inning, but in the third inning as well. As we fast forward here to the Will Smith home run. Of course, again, the Will Smith home run, let me put it on the board here, actually. Let me back that up and let you watch Mookie Betts. Right there, that a boy, Mookie. Knocked that thing into left field. The home run was great, but again, the crooked numbers come from the bloops in front of the blast. We say that all the time. Coach Holt calls it the winning baseball plays. Will Smith, this is Teo Hernandez, that actually moved both runners, scored the run to tie the game, moved Freddie Freeman to third, right in front of the Will Smith home run. I don't know how this pitch that he hits listed as a cutter. I mean, that thing drops basically straight down. My day and age, that would actually be called a curveball. They call that a slider nowadays. Call it whatever you want. It was listed as a cutter. But again, Will Smith goes yard. That's on top of having the sacrifice fly early in the game. Again, he is the best catcher in the game, and the bloops and the blast and the great baseball, the great winning baseball plays in front of the home run were pretty awesome to watch. You saw the Mookie Betts hit. There is the Freddie Freeman home run. And then Hae-Sung Kim. Wow. He's so fun to watch. And this is that pitch. I'm going to go ahead and slow this down. This is that. Now, I know that he hit a home run at New York the other day on a pitch high and tight. And he's hit a lot of pitches that are up in the zone. And I'm not saying that's not going to happen at all. But what I am saying is, if you throw him down in the zone like this, see how much he's actually coming up through that ball. Let me back this up. See this pinwheel swing of him? He's lifting up through that ball pretty hard as he's lifting through that swing. That's going to create that type of swing there, which means anything down and in, I don't care how hard it's thrown. I don't care if it's from a lefty. I don't care what the situation is. Hae-Sung Kim is absolutely going to just clobber those pitches. So over the long run, Hae-Sung Kim has, like we said, hit the home run the other day on the high and tight. I've seen him in Oklahoma City several times. I posted on it, getting the pitches up in the zone. I'm not saying he won't. I'm saying his natural swing will lead to him more easily getting to the pitches low in the zone. So over a marathon, over a large sample size, I will be curious to see how well he does on major league pitches at the top of the zone. But that was a really lot of fun to watch. Again, the Dodgers tying the game with Hae-Sung Kim and that nice swing on that pitch down and in last night. So you tie the game at 6. You end up going extra innings. You have a great let's back up a little bit first. How about Anthony Bondo? Okay, let me put him on the board here. Let me back this up. Anthony Bondo, let's talk about him just for a second. He's had a very up and down year. I'm not going to sugarcoat any of that. Look at that back foot sweeper. So here's the key. Throw strikes. That's number one. Get the back foot sweeper to the back foot. Get the fastball to the top of the zone right there. See that? You've seen the two keys to Anthony Bondo. The back foot sweeper to the back foot there, and then the fastball, get it to the top of the zone. Do both of those things, A, while throwing strikes like you saw there, and B, without giving up home runs. That's the key to Anthony Bondo. No doubt about it. As long as he's not walking people and he's not giving up home runs, Anthony Bondo is a very good pitcher. So Bondo's given up 15 walks in 30.2 innings. He's given up 5 home runs. But to go to just how tough he is to hit, his average against is 196. His whip is below 120, which, hey, that's not great, but that's kind of the threshold there that I'm using to say it's not terrible. And that's despite the walks that he's issued, and he has not allowed a walk. Listen up carefully. Anthony Bondo has not allowed a walk in his last 4 outings, and he hasn't allowed a homer in his last 9 times on the mound. So I've got to say, I think things are definitely shaping up for Anthony Bondo. Again, you saw the back foot slider. You saw the fastball at the top of the zone. You saw a lot of strikes, and you saw exactly what makes Anthony Bondo what he was last year for the Dodgers and what we hope that he turns back into this year, and it seems like he is doing that. And then how about Alex Vessia? Hey, Alex Vessia, I am never late on wanting to talk about how good Alex Vessia actually is as compared to, in my opinion, kind of some of the maybe overriding thoughts of Dodgers fans about what he actually is. Alex Vessia is a lot better, I think, than Dodgers fans give him credit for. So the big part of this, I mentioned it earlier, Freddie Freeman had struck out in the top of the 8th. It would have been easy to go out and, hey, Petco Park was rocking. Go out there and not throw strikes to Gavin Sheets, walk the leadoff guy, make that in. All you had to do is give up 1 run. The Dodgers probably don't win. Instead, Alex Vessia goes out, just total pro, puts the ball in the zone, makes that first out that we call it in baseball, that leading lady, gets that leading lady and makes it look very simple, makes it look very stress-free, and to be honest with you, quite boring, which is exactly what you need. No doubt about that. So, that could have been that strikeout to Freddie Freeman could have been used as a springboard. Alex Vessia did not allow that to happen. And very similar to Anthony Bondo, when he stays away from the home run ball, we all know that he is very, very good. So ERA for Alex Vessia, believe it or not, 289. Again, he's great. Not good. He's great. Again, whip down to 111. Again, he's not good. He's great. He has 38 strikeouts in 28 innings to just 9 walks. He's gone 5 outings in a row scoreless. So Alex Vessia, again, putting up numbers that, honestly, whenever I typed those out and I researched them, I was like, damn, I didn't realize Alex Vessia is, I kind of thought he was struggling more than that as far as this year goes. And so that was something that was pleasant for me 2C. So let's get to the extra innings. Let me actually pause this so we don't miss any of it, and I don't have to back any of it up. Let me back this up and click play. Here's Andy Pages in that double. Terrible route by the left fielder here. That's what we call an L. See that L? L means you come sideways, and then you go back. You make a straight L on that. That's an L angle. If anybody ever tells you took an L angle, that is not a compliment. That's what the left fielder did there on the Andy Pages hit. And so the thing is here, as the visitors, they have enough data. It is real. When you're the visitors, you do not bunt the runner over to third base. Don't bunt the placed runner to third base. One run right there is not the play. Statistically, you actually are still at a disadvantage. You're still going to lose more than you win if you bunt that runner over and play for only the one run, because the home team's going to get the placed runner as well. So the Dodgers played for 2, and then right here I'm screaming, well, this is Tommy Edman. This is Mr. Winning Baseball plays. Bunt Pages over, right? Well, hey, as Joe said on the broadcast, he hasn't bunted in something like 2 years or something. I don't know the exact amount of time he said. I don't know if it was exactly that long. But Tommy Edman has, I was surprised to find out, he has not bunted in a long time, however long that was that Joe said on the broadcast last night. So instead of bunting, how about he just hits behind the runner, ends up eventually getting a base hit up the middle. See right here, no outs. So what he's trying to do, what Tommy Edman's trying to do here, because he's not bunting, base hit is candy here. Base hit is gravy. What he's trying to do is just hit behind Andy Pages. So if you're Andy Pages and you're the runner right here, anything in front of you, you're going to have to stay put. But any ball that is hit at you or behind you that is below your eyes, so your eyes right here, if this ball comes out below your eyes, see how that ball came out below his eyes, and it was behind him, you're automatically gone. So what Tommy Edman was trying to do, he wasn't necessarily trying to get a base hit. He was trying to hit a ball below Andy Pages' eyes and behind Andy Pages. And the gravy of it was he got a base hit out of it and made yet another winning baseball play to put the Dodgers up 2, which is the magical number in extra innings as the visitor. And then here's the one. I have no problem with this. If I'm Manny Machado, I do the same thing. If I'm the umpire, I think the umpire handled it perfectly. He understands it's just emotions. He understands it's a tough pitch. Look, he embraces Mike Schilt. He understands this is well done by all involved right here. This is totally pro. Totally pro from the Dodgers, totally pro from Manny Machado. He walks off. Totally pro from Mike Schilt, and totally pro from the umpire. Then you have the double from Jackson Merrill, and then Tanner Scott with Petco Park just rocking and rolling. Tanner Scott gets the big pop up to Gavin Sheets, and then the fly out to Xander Bogaerts to end the game. The Dodgers win a crazy game, take a 2-game lead in the NL West over the Padres. And hey, we said this is the stretch, although I haven't been around in the last couple weeks or whatever it was. I've been following. This was the stretch with the Mets and the Yankees and the Cardinals and the Padres with all these games. If you can make it through this and get to the dog days of the summer and still have your head above water, the Dodgers are going to have a chance to cruise to the finish line because they have a very easy schedule on the back half. So, hey, I'm super excited. I'm feeling good enough right now. They have me on meds. I still don't have everything diagnosed. I still don't have everything exactly figured out what's going on. I've been having heart problems in case you have not heard or you don't know or whatever. So we're still in the process of getting diagnosed exactly what those problems are. In the meantime, they have me on meds that are making me feel good enough to where I have energy to do stuff like this. So hopefully I'll be able to do my daily post, to go back to doing my daily post on the minor leaguers, and then occasionally the Dodgers, do my daily shows. I'm looking forward to talking to Coach Holt in the morning, and hopefully this will become an everyday thing again. So, hey, if you would, I know we've been out for a while. Austin, Coach Holt, everybody's done a great job of filling in and trying to keep this thing going until I can get strong enough and healthy enough to get back at this. So please spread the word again. Dodgers Daily is back. Come back tomorrow. Come back the day after. Let's talk some Dodgers baseball. Hopefully have a live show or two with Austin on the way and get Mark Watkins back in on this and Coach Barrakoff. So thank you so much to you Dodgers dogs out there. I'm Casey Porter. As always, for Dodgers dogs, you are the best crowd out there 100%. it is a great day to be a Dodger.